Once, a lady named Janice Dickinson, who used to be a model and was on TV, talked about a man named Liam. She said he was so big that it was like an Evian water bottle. She even said he had the biggest private part of any man in the world in a book she wrote in 2007. Liam never said if it was true or not, but people still talk about it a lot in Hollywood. Then there's a guy named Michael Fassbender. He made a movie called Shame, where he showed everything. His friends and people who interview him have joked about how big he is, saying he's big in more ways than one. Michael feels good about himself in those roles, which made people notice him even more. Next is Jon Hamm. He doesn't like all the attention on his private parts, especially when paparazzi take sneaky pictures of him. There are even social media pages just for talking about him. Jon has asked everyone to respect his privacy, but the attention hasn't stopped. Now let's talk about Jared Leto. His ex-girlfriend Karina Taylor said his size was bigger than anything she saw when she worked in adult movies. Jared has joked about this during his concerts, and his fun attitude has made people even more curious about him. Then there's Tommy Lee. A long time ago, there was a famous video of him and Pamela Anderson that showed off his private parts. Even years later, people still talk about that video when discussing celebrities and size. Tommy has made jokes about it over the years. David Beckham also has some rumors about him. He said he doesn't use anything special to look good in his underwear ads and is proud of how he looks naturally. His wife, Victoria Beckham, hinted that the rumors might be true, so people often mention him when talking about size. Ewan McGregor is another actor who has shown himself naked in movies like Trainspotting and The Pillow Book. People liked his bravery, but now that he's older, Ewan says he thinks more carefully about doing those kinds of scenes. There are some funny stories about famous people and their sizes. One story is about Harry Styles. His friend Ed Sheeran made a joke in an interview that made people think about Harry's size. Harry hasn't said anything about it, but this story makes him seem even more interesting and cool. He looks very confident in his pictures, which makes people talk even more. Next, there's Orlando Bloom. There are pictures of him paddleboarding without any clothes on while with Katy Perry. These pictures got shared a lot online, and everyone started talking about them. Orlando thinks it's funny and doesn't mind the attention. Then we have Chris Brown. People have been curious about him for years because of some leaked pictures and stories from his girlfriends. He hasn't talked about it directly, but he acts very confident, and fans like to chat about him on social media. Colin Farrell is another actor who has had some funny stories. There was a scene in a movie called A Home at the End of the World that was cut because it was too distracting for people watching it. Colin joked about this in interviews, showing he has a good sense of humor about it. William Dafoe surprised even the director of a movie called Antichrist. The director said they had to use a body double because William's size was too much for the scene. William hasn't talked about this, but it's an interesting story people remember. Leonardo DiCaprio has had girlfriends who shared funny stories about him. One model named Bobby Brown said she was shocked by his size when they dated in the 1990s. Leonardo hasn't said much about it, letting the rumors keep going. Ben Affleck had a nude scene in the movie Gone Girl, and people talked a lot about it. His ex-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez made some comments that made everyone compare him to her other boyfriends. Ben just laughs it off and treats it like part of being famous. Ashton Kutcher's wife, Mila Kunis, made a joke on a show about his size when asked to describe it. Her funny answers made everyone talk even more. Ashton hasn't said anything, but he keeps things light and funny. Jared Padalecki, who stars in Supernatural, gets teased by his friends about his size. Fans of the show love these jokes and make memes about them online. Jared laughs along with everyone. Justin Bieber had some pictures taken of him on vacation without clothes in Bora Bora, and they went viral in 2015. People started talking a lot about his size. Justin later said he was upset about the pictures, but understood why people were interested. Eddie Murphy has also been part of rumors about his size for a long time. Friends and co-stars sometimes make little hints about it, but Eddie is known for being funny and hasn't talked directly about it. Jay-Z's wife, Beyonce, has hinted in her songs that her husband is pretty impressive. In her song Partition, she includes some lyrics that make fans wonder about their private life. Even though Jay-Z hasn't talked about this, people are really curious about their relationship. Now let's talk about Alexander Skarsgård. He has been in shows like True Blood, which made people talk about his body. When he acts in scenes where he's not wearing much, it makes everyone even more interested. But Alexander prefers to focus on acting instead of what people say about his looks. Then there's Owen Wilson. He got attention when photographers caught him and Woody Harrelson having a bath in a ditch. The wet clothes showed a lot, and people started talking online about him. Owen is known for being relaxed and funny, and he hasn't said much about this, but he still makes people laugh with his talent. Ray J is another name you might know. He became famous because of a tape with Kim Kardashian that showed a lot. This tape caused a big stir, and people have talked about it for years. Ray J has used this fame to help his career, and often talks about how it changed things for him. Channing Tatum is known for his movies where he shows off his body. His films, especially the Magic Mike ones, make people wonder about him. Channing takes it lightly and jokes about what fans think during interviews. Adam Driver got a lot of attention when he was in the show Girls because he was naked in some scenes. People love him for his acting and unique looks. Adam likes to keep his private life to himself and doesn't talk much about these things. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is famous for being big and strong, which makes fans curious about him. He is very athletic and has a big personality. Dwayne doesn't like to talk about personal stuff like this. He prefers to focus on family and sharing positive messages. Brad Pitt is known as a handsome guy because of his roles in movies like Troy. Some of his partners have hinted that he has impressive features, which adds to his mystery. Brad doesn't usually talk about these rumors because he likes to keep things private. Keanu Reeves is loved for his acting, but sometimes co-stars make comments that get people curious about him. Keanu keeps his personal life a secret, which makes fans even more fascinated by him. Zac Efron went from being a teen star to a leading man in Hollywood. He's had many shirtless scenes, and people have talked about him a lot. Zac focuses on his acting career and staying fit rather than on what others say. Robin Thicke made waves with his music video for Blurred Lines, which had hints that he might be well endowed. His ex-wife Paula Patton joked about it too, making the rumors more believable. Robin treats this topic lightly while keeping his private life private. Finally, Timothée Chalamet gained attention from his role in Call Me By Your Name, which had some intimate moments. Fans speculate about him based on how confident he seems in similar roles. Timothy prefers to stay out of the spotlight when it comes to these rumors.